Okay, fourth grade team, we have number corner coming at you. What's really cool is calendar grid is all about shapes and symmetry. So what's nice about this little thing is it's a teacher key for you to know what markers are what shape and being specific about that shape, and then what type of symmetry it has. There are two types of symmetry. The one we've been mainly talking about in class is line symmetry, which is otherwise called reflective symmetry. And then we have the other one, rotational symmetry. And if we can rotate it 90 degrees and it lands on itself, that has 90-degree rotational symmetry, and we don't have to get that specific, but it can, if it can rotate and land on itself, then it has rotational symmetry. Okay, all right, going to calendar collector. This is a water evaporation experiment. Here's what you do. You can read about it, and then we record what's happening, and we have a graph to fill out. So your PDFs can be found here for that. Then if you would like more depicting graphs and practicing looking at data, this is a good PDF here for later on in the month, if you would like that. Keep scrolling down, computational fluency. I'm going to use this game for my 5th grade group. It's a good one, bringing back the ideas of fractions and decimals and where they're placed on the number line. And so read about the game, but it's pretty much just you have cards that you'll use. So if you take a look at the PDFs, there are different cards in here. So let's take a look. You would cut these out, have them ready to go. In students versus you pick a card. So here are the cards to draw from, these two sets. So let's say I draw this card here as a teacher. I have drawn what? I have drawn 7/10 or 0.7. So then I'd go ahead and plot where that is on this line. And I have that many points right now, 0.7 or 7/10 or 70/100. And then you get to add all those decimal numbers up depending on how many cards that you each picked. So if we have 4 rounds, we have 4 cards to do. So pretty self-explanatory game. I think it's a good one to review decimals, fractions, and addition of those. Computational fluency, it has some problem strings, and this is the gist of the problem strings. There's all multiplying a fraction by a whole number. So here would be a string of problems to do. I'd start with 1/2 times 24. We can think of that as half of 24. I could put 24 tiles up on the board in a rectangular format, and then they're able to look at that and cut it in half and know that half of it is going to be 12. And then we go to a third. Well, what would a third be? Well, now we have to break it 24 up into thirds, and we do that with the tiles, break it up into thirds, and see that each one of those thirds has 8 tiles in it. So a third of 24 is 8. Then we go to a fourth of 24. Break 24 up into 4 parts, and what is one of those parts worth? 6. So what happens to our product as that denominator actually gets bigger? The product gets smaller. So we give them these sets of problems each week with a different number. And then if you would want to even go past that, you can move to problems like, okay, well, half of 28 is what? A fourth of 28 is what? And now how about 3/4 of 28? And how can we figure out that one? Without even looking at the algorithm, you guys, you are taking 28 and breaking 28 tiles up into 4 parts and saying one of those parts is worth 7. We just did that right here. It's worth 7. One of those fourths. And now we want 3 of those fourths. So I would have to multiply that 7 by 3. So I'm not even making use of the algorithm. You can actually visually see what is happening with the tiles. Okay? Solving problems. That component has measurement conversion practice problems, which is really cool. So we can go back to measuring and seeing on working and practicing with that. So there are some PDFs there. And then Maze Number Corner also has a checkup assessment, but not to use it like assessment. It could just be used for practice problems if you look through those pages and you like any of them. Okay? Awesome.